What show is this again? Oh, yeah.
Okay, Boomer.
Welcome back, everyone, to Total Nonstop Impact. Not Smash This Podcast. Wrong. Damn it. That's a first.
So you're like, it's Jay and Bill. I don't know what show this is. What show is this?
I don't know. It's Thursday night. It's been a long day. I need a nap.
Well, after that show, the go home, J-Bone, took a lot out of you.
Oh, I'm shook. I'm absolutely shook. So, oh boy. So yes, this is Total Nonstop Impact Talk for Impact fans, right here on the YouTube and the Twitch and wherever you get your podcast audio worldwide, baby. We love all our fans worldwide. And let me tell you, I've said it before and I'll say it again. We have the best audience. I don't care who says what about, our audience is the best and blah, 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 blah. No, sorry. Doesn't compare. Just
no
doesn't.
doubt.
So, Bill, are you ready for some
I'm ready.
rebellion? I
am ready, J-Bone. Confirmed with my buddy Todd. He's gonna head up with me for the pay-per-view. Then I'll obviously come back home, and then I'll head up myself for the TV tapings the next day. So definitely got it all planned out. Dave's fishing. He's in a fishing tournament, so he's not in for this one. But I'm sure. Well, he's heading out to me for the Cincinnati tapings, Mayday and the TV. So. Under siege in Mayday.
He's in a boat.
Yeah, he's in a boat. So, but no, Rebellion after tonight, you gotta be excited for this show if you weren't already. I think we obviously already were, but they went all out on this go home show.
This was good. I mean, we've been. What's that word? Oh yeah, critical. We've been critical of some go home shows before. But they never stink as much as other people's go home shows. They never compare. Oh man. God, where do we even start with this? Oh, you know what? I know where we start with this. I want to let everybody know there's a few merch things that we want to talk about at the top of this show tonight. Number one, our merch. Got to plug our merch. There is a 20% off sale starting today. In fact, today is almost over, but nonetheless, you can get into the Spreadshirt shop link in the description. 20% off. And if you think you can't do it today and you're going to miss out, this sale's almost a week long. It's going through the 26th.
You know what they say? That's longer then.
Oh, somebody's Veer's marriage.
Veer's marriage.
It's definitely Jiminy Christmas. Oh my God, the white.
Too hot for TV.
Too hot. God, that's
too hot for Twitch. Rob Van Dam and Katie, you thought were too much.
Hey. That's hotter than Girls Gone Wild right there. Jeez Louise. So yeah, 20% off. The link is in the description, and got a little something to play tonight. Got a little Vidsky to play. Vidsky for the fans. If you saw the throwback, which I know is a niche thing, but we always tell you guys, tune into the throwback because you never know what you're going to get. Well, let me tell you. We talked about that camera guy, Nick, before. He's been a guest on the show before.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got a special sale going on. Some classic TNA merch. You ready for this, Bill?
Oh.
Check this out, folks. There you got it. Camera guy gimmick at bigcartel.com. Get your 10% off code promo here. You know what it is? TNA POD. TNA pod is the code. 10% off, limited qualities. Get your TNA shirts and caps. Get your SEX.
Oh, that's a good one right there.
Hey, he even has
wear it to your parents' house.
I especially when you're dating someone's daughter. Oh goodness. So yeah. Thanks for the bits, Rayline and Punk. Speaking of Punk, just want to thank him again publicly for this tremendous pinup. It's back here. It's not framed yet, but it's right there. There it is. Santana Garrett.
Very nice.
Yes. Great pinup. Much love, Punk. Yeah, it's somebody's birthday coming up, Bill.
Oh, I think that's a little sign. Get the Bone Man some stuff.
25th. Just in case anybody wants to.
Why is 20 like Impact?
Yeah, only it's not my 20th. So most cheesiest bodies in TNI, Bell's Boy. Really?
Oh. Settle down.
I earned this cheesy body. What am I saying?
You earned it.
All right.
Well and good.
Every scoop of ice cream and every beer ski. Hell yeah. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Courtney.
Oh, thanks. Thank you very much.
Much love, Courtney. The $20 super sticker.
Oh, that's
absolutely tremendous.
We thank you.
Courtney is definitely in the lead on that one. All right. I don't have any news per se. We checked the old Twitter box on the Impact side of things real quick. But I don't think there's any
little news.
I'm just seeing if there was any. Okay, I didn't know if they were going to do some kind of announcement that R.D. Evans was.
Bells Boy going up there. $10 from the Bells Boy.
Hey.
Oh, and happy the birthday coming up for Bells Boy.
There we go. Tremendous. Bells Boy, how old you gonna be? I know you're not supposed to ask those things. So yeah, no medical update on the old R.D. Evans, Bill.
Okay. I'm sure the barrister will be okay.
He took quite
Anna. Thank you, Anna.
Thank you.
Who we saw
much love
on the program this evening.
Yes. Bell's Boy is gonna be 59.
59.
I thought I was an old bone. Just kidding.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, absolutely not. I'm going to be a very young 48.
Ooh, very young 48.
Oh, man.
You know what they're saying, J-Bone? 48's the new 38.
To go back to 38. Actually, my 38
it was a blur, J-Bo. You did this much.
my 38 was not very much different than how I feel right now, honestly. Can we go
Were
back
you podcasting back then?
No, but physically I was still just as banged up. Can I go back to 28? That'd be great.
There you go, 28, J-Ben. For
There
you?
we go. Hell yeah. All right. Let's dive into tonight's episode.
No news, J-Ben. We're not going to do any news.
I don't really have any. All
right. Well, just put a few notes out here. Okay. This ain't J-Bo's news. I can't play the bit. No J-Bo's news. There is rumblings, and you know what? I can play this. I will play this, J-Bone. It's not J-Bone's news, but there was a story that came out earlier today. So we will play a little of this.
Longing for that big wrestling news. Don't believe anything that you read on the internet.
So Jay, people say it was reported today, like they were breaking news, that Impact will be in Nashville for Slammiversary. They're saying June 19th, a Sunday, which would be the official 20-year to the day anniversary.
Oh, yeah.
Which everybody that's a TNI fan knows we've been talking about for months.
Pretty much.
Like I think everyone in the Discord has been saying, do it at 20 years. And then we knew Ace Austin put out his schedule. What was it? Probably like 8 weeks ago, saying that Impact tapings were over that June time period. So I think everyone kind of figured this out. Now, they never said the location, but I think but then Moose said it in an interview, and Mickey James alluded to, it looks like it's Nashville. Not confirmed, but you don't have to be a paid-for news site to break this news. It was happening. But now they confirmed it, so wow.
Hey, congrats to Sean Ross shit for, hey, bravo. Guess who's watching our show?
And in other news, water is wet, J-Bone.
Oh, the water is wet gimmick.
So, but once again, that's the right call. There was only a few options, I think. And Alabama wasn't likely, but that was the first site. And then obviously Florida, but we know they're doing the TV tapings there. So as soon as Kiss of Me was announced for May.
Kiss of who?
Well, that's right, J-Bo. It was obvious that it was going to be Nashville. But once again, yeah. And as we saw in previous weeks, breaking news, Hernandez left Impact. That was a big follow-by a couple months later. And that kind of could hit into our next story, which was referenced during the show tonight. And that was the injury angle to one Madman Fulton, who was written off via injury. And we don't know if he's written off for a while. And I think someone said, good, is it a write-off, like for good, or is it a reboot? And I think that's the thing, because he put out, and why I'm saying this is he put out his upcoming schedule through June, no Impact. Because he's another one that usually says when he has Impact dates, when he doesn't. So, unknown. Yeah, here we go. Now everyone's having fun with it. Gary's Eddie. Oh, and that is news. Jake Something will be doing New Japan. He's booked for one of their upcoming New Japan USA shows.
Oh,
so good for Jake. Like that's a good shot right there.
Hell yeah. And we've been saying that too. And not saying that he is, but we were saying that'd be a good option for him. So hey, good for him. Absolutely. Yeah.
And they so that's kind of the different and yes, Hernan Daddy, former guest on the show. He did something MLW. I don't know if anyone's ever officially with MLW, but he's doing something with MLW right now. And then they also, and I don't know if you want to show this or not from the Impact website, J-Bone, they're doing another VHS release because the Slammiversary went over so well. The Bound for Glory that started this angle between Moose and, well, it furthered this angle between Moose and Josh Alexander. That's the Bound for Glory. The Vegas Bound for Glory is now a VHS collectible.
Oh, like in the
it should be in the shop. Yeah.
If I can get it.
I know the Slammiversary sold out, I think, in like one day, that first one. I believe this was still there earlier during the show.
You can still pre-order that Hard to Kill DVD.
I'm sure Trent's doing it.
Bound for Glory VHS. Oh, the one between Christian and
Josh.
Oh.
Where Josh won the title, then quickly got removed.
Yeah, we'll share a little share screen of Rooney on that one. Here we go, right here.
There it is.
Bound for Glory. Single cassette VHS. Pre-order.
Yeah, that's a single cassette. Was Slammiversary a double cassette? I think it may have been a double cassette.
Limit 10. What does that say? Limit 10 per order?
Limit
10.
There you go.
What the hell are you ordering 10 for? Oh, we're going to give them out at Christmas time.
That's right. Honest to goodness VHS. Bring it back.
Oh, my God. That's hilarious.
Yeah, so we talked about this briefly was it last week? I guess it was last week's show. Taya will be, because there's a May 13th show in Philly for MLW that Ty is at. But the thing we know now about the tapings on how they work, if she comes in the next day, you really don't miss a beat. It's easy enough to schedule around this, so I wouldn't get too crazy with it. But we know she won't be there for that first night. So don't wear your Ty t-shirt to that night of tapings. Save for the next night.
Oops.
That would be an oops.
But I got my shirt, Bill. Oh, man. All right, so any other...
That's pretty much the news. That's kind of the other... We'll get to it. PCO's alive and well now.
Oh, my God. That's a miracle.
That's the main takeaways. But we'll get into some stuff as we go through the show.
There we go.
Like Chris Bay dropped a new album, which was advertised tonight by Tom Hannafin, which was nice.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And there's been a bunch that I've seen over the course of the last year. He's got one. Swerve's got one, I think, that just dropped. Myron Reed's got some stuff he released not too long ago. Support your wrestling rockers, or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, no, obviously a lot of wrestlers are involved with a lot of stuff. Like you see the ones with the Twitch channels. Obviously all their different merch stores. You can support them in a lot of ways. And speaking of, I know it was put on the Discord, I guess on the Twitter and all. Obviously the Promote Rebellion locally, they were at the local minor league baseball game. And there's some pictures out there. Gail Kim, Jordan Grace, Rosemary, look like a pretty Alicia Edwards. Looks like a very cold night there.
You're right.
And it was advertised that the X Division match is on the pre-show. And that's what they've been doing, 2 matches on the pre-show, which is cool.
What is all this breaking news stuff? Breaking news. Vincent changes his name to Dr. Vincent von Frankenweenie.
Vincent was gold tonight.
Oh, my God.
If you dig what I'm saying, man.
He's alive. Alive. All right. Let's get into this. 421 episode of Impact Wrestling, the go-home show for this year's Rebellion pay-per-view, which is happening on Saturday.
There you go, J-Bone.
Starting out hot here with the tag champs going against Decay, represented by, we got Diener and EY versus a Taurus and a Crazy Steve. This one was fun. Trying to see who can get a leg up going into this 8-man elimination tag team championship match at the pay-per-view.
8 tag teams, J-Bone. A lot of tag teams.
8. Man, I mean, do they have time to like grow some from the ground up to, are they going to find them all? Where are they all coming from?
Well, I don't even know. The show's over, and I don't even know if we know all the teams at this point. We have an idea on most of them, I think.
Yeah, we can guess most of them. It certainly became easier as the show went on because it's like, okay, so there's like, if you can't think of all the tag teams / stables, as the show went on, it's like, okay, there's a tag team, there's a tag team. There was a couple on BTI.
Yep.
And, by the end of it, you could pretty much figure out who is going to be on. As much as I and some other fans definitely would want to see the Briscoes on, I don't think they're making the pay-per-view because they got prior
well, maybe
commitments.
via satellite, as they say, J-Bone, but not live in person.
Yeah,
they seem to be committed elsewhere that night.
yeah. So VBD get the win here.
Oh yeah.
And who from hey Joe. Joe, where were you tonight?
Ringside. Yes, Taurus.
You're bending some horns, eh?
Taurus tastes good on the grill.
Oh my god. Killing me. Maybe they're the ones that are not showing up at the pay-per-view.
Maybe, but maybe not.
I don't know.
What is that? Diener with the pin.
Yeah.
There were shenanigans, though. There were definitely shenanigans in the finish.
We'll be careful. Mr. Shenanigans is sitting next to you there.
Wow.
For someone that was in the chat earlier tonight that said, "Oh, Diener's in the match." Well, we know who's losing or taking the pin. Then it's like, no,
Wrong.
You can't. What do I always say, Bill? Never assume.
Because what happens when you assume, J-Bone?
You make an ass out of yourself.
That's right.
Never me.
Never.
Just itself. It's all one-sided. Oh man, great to see Diener get a win here though, because it felt like he kind of was the fall guy for a little bit. It
did, but that happens. Guys are going to be taking losses, but then they're going to win. And this was a good win for Violent by Design, even if there were some shenanigans.
Proud as a peacock.
There we go. Man, Richard Robles is smoking some really good stuff tonight. He must be in his own treehouse. That's what?
We are a day off from 420, J-Bone, and it's legal in Jersey. Man.
Then that's obviously it. That's obviously it. All right. Oh, hi, Mayor. He says, wonder what moron said that. I wasn't going to call you moron. I was just going to say, hey, be nice to Diener.
Gotta be nice to the Diener.
Gotta be nice to Diener. Because Diener's the nicest guy in the team. We get the major players in the ring. And
major sissies.
Talk about disrespect. No, major players they want tag team gold. And who shows up, Bill?
Wow. The ECW originals.
If I had music to play, I would.
The FBI. Come on, J-Bone. You gotta. Got little Guido in the house.
Little Guido.
One of the originals there. I said it wasn't JT Smith original, but the FBI that everybody knows.
Oh, sure.
Which is cool to see because a lot of people say, like in the past, they've gone to like, they brought this guy in for the ECW pop, especially in Philly or the Northeast. But going with the Tony Mamaluke with Little Guido for the FBI duo was a little bit different. So that was cool. And the crowd loved it.
Oh, yeah. FBI anything OG always gets a pop.
Mm.
So Mamaluke and Little Guido come in. Turns into Little Guido versus one half of the major players. But
the truth is, you're nothing but a mid-card
donor. Oh, God.
So Justin, forget the major players. Mid-card donor and Oscar Myers.
Oh, what? Oscar Myers. Oh, my God. That's funny. Matt Cardona gets the win here, but it was a fun match between little Guido and Matt Cardona. Of course, the OG crowd's always going to pop for FBI. But do I think that the FBI is one of those tag teams at the pay-per-view? No. I seriously think it's going to be. I seriously think the major players are going to be in that match.
See, I still don't know because for them to show up in that title match, they haven't tagged yet. That was just a singles match. They're going to have no tag team matches and get a title shot. Crazier things have happened. People walk into title matches. So,
right.
But I don't know. It could. They definitely, if you're going, well, who's that last team? They seem like they're likely, but maybe not. There we go. There's our theme song. Oh, I wish I were an Oscar Mayer wiener. But instead I'm a mid-card donor.
Sounds like a hit. But then Morrissey shows up, puts Matt Cardona through a table with the help of Jordan Grace.
Bam!
Former, I forgot we had her on a bit there. Bam. Do you think I thought that maybe the major players were going to be in the tag match, but now Jordan Grace gets involved and jumps in with Morrissey. Does this turn into like an intergender match where you got Morrissey, Jordan Grace, and question mark versus the major players? Myers, Cardona, and Chelsea Green.
It could be. That's the thing that's not clear. I feel this could be maybe something that's because the card's pretty full right now. So I don't think this is probably a rebellion. I think it's probably a next Thursday match. And maybe it is a mixed tag. Maybe it's Morrissey and Grace versus the major players. Chelsea at ringside. Maybe a third person does come in. Chad, what do you think? Do you think this is where it's somebody, if it is 3-on-3, somebody from the roster, or maybe someone new that could get involved in such an angle?
Someone who's tagged with Morrissey before?
Familiarity might be a good thing.
Oh man, Enzo would blow the roof off of someplace. And where is he from, Bill?
I think he's from the he's from New York.
Yeah.
So it would make sense.
It would make a lot of sense. It would make perfect sense. I think if what we could have happen is like something to like have a cool, well, it wouldn't necessarily be a cool off thing, but it'd be something nice in between matches and just have like the major players out there shooting their mouths off with Chelsea Green. Then all of a sudden Morrissey shows up, Jordan Grace shows up. We get the surprise from Enzo. They brawl. There's a challenge that takes place, and then they fight on the next tapings. Next night.
I could see this being something promoted, like segments, 1 or 2 segments, maybe on the pay-per-view for a Thursday match. And once again, odds of Enzo, I still say not extremely likely. Maybe a 20-25% chance of Enzo. Just because of the whole digital media intergender connection. Maybe it will be maybe it's like because you have the monster 7 feet tall, Morrissey, so he tags with Jordan, and that's either makes a statement or not against the major players. So they could go that route. Like they don't need to do something else, but then Chelsea becomes more valet manager in this storyline as opposed to a wrestler. Unless, depending on what happens with Deanna, they form the tag team they've been wanting and go after whoever the champs are after Rebellion.
I'm seeing some pros and some cons for Enzo in the chat. I know he's not everyone's
MLW. Like he is doing stuff with MLW, but their contracts are back and forth because like Alex Shelley was signed to MLW, and then 2 weeks later he was back in Impact. So
right, exactly. So yeah, who knows? Who knows? Just a thought. But yeah, so Matt Cardona gets put through a table for his troubles, and we'll see what happens next. But hey, can't be any worse than what happened to Mr. Gabriel Rodriguez.
Oh, Gabriel.
Oh man,
tough night for Gabe.
Talk about someone that looked like visibly was like having the brown stuff run down his pants leg as he watched Shera come to the ring. The look on Gabriel's face was priceless.
Yeah, you could say,
I have the runs.
Yeah, that was written all over his face. It was hilarious. Poor guy did not want to be there. But then again, Shera's like, 3 of Gabriel, so.
And he put it. Oh, and obviously Shera looked dominant here against him.
You looked great. You looked healthy.
And a good transition from that to backstage with Bhupinder.
It was.
So there's something brewing there, and that is kind of news as well because he was doing the media tours, the India media tours this past week, Bhupinder, which was great for Impact. We know they have the big TV deal in India, so I'm sure you're seeing something build up. Like, who knows? Do they do a tapings in India before the year's out? I guess a lot still depends on what's going on out there, but I'm sure that was becoming a yearly thing. I don't know if that happens, but if anything, it's just building up for that market, which is good. That's very smart business. And I think they got 2 guys like Bhupinder. I remember seeing him a couple of years ago in Canada, and you could see ability there, but he's really kind of like they worked with him, and you can drastic differences.
Yeah. It could happen. I don't think the world's ready for that yet. I don't know how things are necessarily going.
They gotta do a show in Canada before they go anywhere. They gotta stay on.
Oh, yeah.
Before they go across oceans. Probably that'll be the start. Once you see them do Canada, then you'll see them do Mexico, then you'll see them do maybe India next, or maybe the UK. All depending. Although they've been doing a lot of media in the UK lately, so is that a sign that maybe there's a new TV deal on the horizon in the UK? Because they're not going to go tour there until there's a TV deal. So but all the media stuff, maybe that's the start. So that'd be good to see.
Yeah, I mean, Eric Young was over there. I think there's a few other people.
D-Lo was just over there.
Oh, okay.
And I know D-Lo is trending out there right now. So we just talked about D-Lo. So if you want to hashtag D-Lo to get people over here, feel free. We discussed D-Lo.
There we go. Love D-Lo. All right, so Shera gets a quick win over Gabriel. Then Gia's backstage with Bhupinder Gujar. And Gia's asking him about, Raj and Shera out there doing their thing. And Bhupinder's like, I don't need him.
No. I don't think anyone needs Raj.
Well, it's just very interesting. I think the assumption would be like, yeah, let's put them all together, but they're keeping them pretty far apart. I mean, they're back-to-back segments, but they're, Bhupinder's going out of his way to be like, week after week, no, I don't want anything to do with them.
Which is
like,
good.
He doesn't trust them, or
yeah, I think probably has good reason. You see Raj from afar, you see what he's up to. He's sneaky.
Yeah.
Sneaky.
Yeah.
So
not sneaky cheesy, but
no, not sneaky cheesy. There's only so many cheesies. Well, depending on our chat here, they might say there's a lot of cheese going on, Jay. But
there's no cheese on Shera.
There's a lot of Wisconsin cheddar, if you know what I'm saying here.
Nothing wrong with that cheddar. But yeah, let's hear from the chat. What do you want to see happen between Bhupinder and you got like Team Bhupinder and like Team Shera? I don't know what, are they going to clash? Are they going to end up together someday after a while?
As long as they both get together and beat up Raj, then I'd be okay with it. If not, then they're probably going to have to go head to head against each other. And then you have the face and the heel,
That's interesting.
But it's tough. Like, there's so much history with Shera. It's tough for me to really boo Shera. So he's going to have to do some stuff to get us all angry.
Well, and he looks great. He's a guy that looks great. He's really improved over the last few years in Impact Wrestling. I don't know.
Yeah, there's history to it.
Is it Odark? Because he's also owes my money?
That's history, all right.
That's vintage.
Vintage Shera. Vintage Lion. All right. Next, we've got the Honor No More guys against the Bullet Club. Honor No More consisting of Kenny King, Vincent, Taven and Bennett versus Bullet Club's Jay White, Bay, and the Good Brothers. Ooh, look at that. Finesse Club. And I don't know. This is like, I don't know what.
That seems like something the Good Brothers would wear.
Yeah, it could be. So
it smells like beer, sweat, self-tanner, and baby oil, brother.
A lot of teams here that are going to be involved somehow, some way in that 8-man tag team championship elimination match.
Yeah, a lot of storylines for that tag match tonight as part of the show.
Right.
So a lot of build for that.
So you got the Good Brothers who would be representing Bullet Club. On the Honor No More side, I think you got Bennett and Taven. That'd be a solid representation.
Yeah, a lot of references to the tag belts during this match.
Oh yeah, yeah. But then there was something significant that happened later. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
That could be another team. I don't know. But
Yeah, probably not this soon, but it definitely could lead to something down the road.
something's going on here.
Especially, I know some people did ask when we were talking about the news, and I guess we can bring it up now while we're talking Honor No More, is the latest with Maria, possibly Bennett, and I guess Taven, if you want to include them all together, because we know it's the big story out there. Because, and once again, I think we said it last week, we'll say it again. At least my opinion is, like Maria, because everyone tags her and stuff, and they're responsive on social media, is about Ring of Honor, AEW, Tony Khan, and is like, oh, Tony Khan, would you talk to Maria? And he responds to everybody, Tony Khan, it seems like. He has nothing better to do than to like run 2 promotions and write every show and be Booker of the Year. But he responds, he's like, oh yeah, I'll talk to Maria. Oh yeah, we'll make sure to talk to her. In the end, and she's starting her own promotion, which is great to see. But I think they probably stick around Impact. I don't think there's any jump because I don't think the role she probably wants is there. I think they would, like I saw, I think he would have brought her in already. I think he would have brought them all in already. He could have done that, but he's too busy bringing in a bunch of other people every week. So I just don't think there's the space there. So we'll see what happens. But obviously, I know she said her pay per appearance is coming up after this weekend.
Right.
But the way they featured them, unless there's an official like deal out there to be had, I can't imagine, like, because right now with all the TV time they're getting, she's too smart to give that up. Unless there's a guarantee somewhere else.
Yeah, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. I definitely want to, and it's nothing against Maria. I think she'd be, great in the ring, out of the ring, whatever. But I definitely want to see Taven and Bennett stay. I mean, you got a former Ring of Honor champion there.
Mm-hmm.
You got
big fans of both those guys.
Former tag champs in themselves as Ring of Honor tag champs, and didn't they have something else?
New Japan titles.
Was it the New Japan titles? Okay, yeah. Then that goes way back to when AJ Styles was in the Bullet Club still. So that goes back with the.
Yeah, because they cut on that promo last week in like 2015. The Good Brothers are like, we put you guys over in 2015.
And then they were like, "Hi, Maria," like they remember.
Oh yeah, they remember. But no, like obviously Bennett, I was a fan. Ring of Honor, his first run when he was Miracle Mike, big fan. And then Maria, I think I'm her biggest supporter on this show. I think she's fantastic because she's old school valet, which just doesn't exist anymore. And she does it great, and she can cut a promo. She's fantastic on the mic. So I think there's a role for her here, no doubt. And I know the whole issue, I guess, at Impact is she wants to be more involved backstage, creative. I'm sure she could have the ability to produce a segment here and there, but there's just so many people doing that. Like, you're not going to take over for Gail type thing. And I know she wants to probably be the main person at a promotion. So the idea sounds great, but I just don't know if that's really going to be there. So, but obviously wish her the best because I think, I hope they all stick around Impact for a while because big fans of all of them.
I do. It's, considering they all lost their jobs and Impact was willing to scoop them up and give them a shot. Hey, it's.
Yeah, and pretty much the main storyline other than the Josh storyline in the company.
It's definitely one of the top stories. Yeah. I mean, there's a few. I mean, I think Bullet Club is significant, but there's a hi. And there's Oreo making an appearance. She's very responsive, aren't you? And out the door she goes. All right. So, or not. Who knows what she's doing? That little Oreo. All right. the Bullet Club gets the win here. Certainly have a leg up on the competition going up into that 8-man tag this weekend. And
yeah, and it's looking mixed in the chat. Like big OGK fans. You got all different people that like who do you guys think in the chat? Who's gonna come out on top? We'll go over our picks later, but let us know what you're thinking. Like the momentum went with the Bullet Club here. And obviously Violent by Design won earlier. Who's going in? Like who's the favorites? Are the champs the favorites? The champs have all the odds against them because they're 7 teams against them. Odds aren't great for the champs.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. With that many teams going on, your head's on a swivel. And it's not like they're all out there at once. It's one at a time. But still, how do you even try to prep for something like that?
Stuff.
So darn near impossible.
Big Joe's has a long night ahead of him.
Yeah. Yep. So all right. So Bullet Club gets the win here. Get a great Macklin promo. Now this is very interesting. And as far as the triple threat between Macklin, Saban, and Jay White, this Macklin promo is actually the only representation of that match on this show. And I think his promo is interesting. He talks a little bit about doing stuff by himself, whereas Saban, he's always had some help in Alex Shelley or Jay White. He's always had the club. And then all of a sudden he starts talking about sounds like he's talking about his own club or his own group of guys or something.
Man, he does have a history, not an impact. Because he's been a solo act his whole time here. We saw how he worked with Team Impact. But he does have history with other fellas, and at least we know, well, I guess all of them are free agents, right? Well, no, one of them's at least one of them's a free agent doing some stuff. So it's a possibility. It's a possibility. Or is he recruiting other members of the roster to a team maybe?
I think he could certainly bring in one more guy to side with him, and it might be someone that help him get a leg up in this match. Of course, you can call it shenanigans, you can call it whatever you want, but it would be a reintroduction of the formerly known as Forgotten Sons, if you include what's his name?
Wesley Blake.
Wesley Blake. Yeah.
He's controlling his narrative.
Yeah, he's in there too. Yes.
But how about if we go a little different, J-Bone, with a guy that was in the news this last week? How about instead of what I thought originally, the obvious way to maybe be interested in a free agent, is go after the friend, a very close friend and tag partner of somebody in the other camp. And that would be Kushida. Alex Shelley's tag partner from Japan, the Time Splitters. If you're doing this feud with Saban, Shelley, Jay White, there's a guy right there that could fit into this whole angle because he has a connection to Shelley. But you would think he'd come in with Shelley. He'd be like, oh, my buddy Alex Shelley, but instead get recruited by a guy like Macklin, and like you're bringing your friend in, but working for the other team.
Oh, that's interesting. I like that too. Wesley Blake Christian. No. It's different guy. That's
different guy.
Completely different
and
guy.
He is right about this, T. Hughes. He could just be talking about his military background because he does reference that, like the group, the guys, the.
So I think something's up his sleeve, but we're gonna have to wait till Rebellion and or the tapings to see what happens. But I've been kind of waiting for someone to show up for a while now because there's an abundance of free agents out there, but we'll see. We'll see. All right. Next we get a inspiration promo.
Oh,
of course, they're going into this weekend. They are getting their rematch against the Influence. Feels like it's taking forever to get some of these matches done. It's been very slow paced, but
there was many issues initially. Obviously, some people weren't able to make it, and then I think there was an injury. So now there's the Caleb is there. Now he's gone. I'm not sure what's going to happen here.
Yeah,
I would think the inspiration play more of a role here, but we'll see. We'll get the official decision later in the show.
Yeah. What else here? All right. Next, we get a promo from Taya talking how she's gonna go up against Deonna Purrazzo and take her title. Certainly can't wait for that one. No Deonna Purrazzo on the show though.
No Deonna. Now there's some weeks where it feels recently where you don't get as much Deonna on the show. Like she does the Champ Challenge weeks, but she's mentioned obviously in here, but you didn't get to see her. So
yeah.
Is that telling? Does that mean something?
No, it's just
we didn't get Tasha either. We didn't get the focus was on the tag, the main event and the tag title match tonight, pretty much.
Yeah.
And a little of the X division.
Yeah, that's true. So I still think that this show covered a lot of bases because that card is stacked. But yeah, certainly looking forward to the Taya Valkyrie versus Deonna Purrazzo for the AAA Reina de Reinas title. So great to see the Queen back. Mike Bailey and Ace Austin versus Laredo Kid and X Division champ Trey Miguel. Bill, what'd you think of this one?
Oh, this was a show stealer, this match.
It's been a bangorama.
Like the stuff done in this match was crazy. Like they were doing all kinds of crazy moves. Like definitely, and it's tough. Like, is there the difference between like a spot fest and doing them a lot in the course of a match? It's tight. It's X Division craziness. There's just stuff going back and forth. You talking head on the swivel. You got like there's stuff every direction going on in this match. They're just flying over ropes. They're going through ropes. And then the good thing about like a Mike Bailey and even Ace, right? Like they all kind of do it. You got a lot of stiff shots as well. It isn't just flips. Like they're hammering each other with a lot of stuff too. So
yeah, damn near kicking their heads off.
Yeah. And obviously I think at the end you kind of said I think someone's head did get kicked off. And that's Mary here talks about that guardrail spot. Like in his matches at these tapings, he did crazy stuff. Like I told you, he did, I think, more rotations in that previous match he was in than I've ever seen someone do when they jumped out of the ring. Like the number of rotations, it was crazy. Like he did like 1,080. He did so many rotations. But there's just so much talent in this X division with Trey and Ace. And I know someone put out that there was a tweet in the last week on the different rosters of Impact Wrestling and which one was the best. I'll tell you, look at the X division, and that's always been a staple. You look at the X division right now, it's up there right now. The X division, like there's a lot of talent. I think people, and if you don't acknowledge it right now, you're going to look back in like 3 or 4 years and say how great that was. But realize it now, like live in the now right now with this division, because it's Ace Austin, Mike Bailey, Trey Miguel, Chris Bay. Like that's a ton of talent in this division right now.
Oh yeah, and then you could even throw guys like Vincent was in that.
Yeah. Well, you
he,
could even like they could give Rich Swann a run there. Willie Mack's a former X Division champion.
Yeah,
they could do it, and that's the great thing. Jordan Grace, I think, should still be X Division champion at some point.
There's a lot of people in the company that you could definitely throw in there that you maybe wouldn't think of right away. I mean, and think of some of these newer guys that have come in, like Bhupinder. I think he'd be great. Yeah,
Bhupinder. Yeah, you could squeeze him there. No limits.
Yeah. But this match was absolutely tremendous, very interesting. I think the big thing here was going to be able to see if Mike Bailey and Ace Austin could be a good team together, if they'd be on the same page. And we see towards the end there, no. They both have different paths here. And I think the one that was standing tall at the end of all this is going to be your new X Division champion. I really think.
Yeah.
I really think. Because
it feels like it's time. It's the right time. Some people think it's too soon, but you said it during the reaction, J-Bone. Sometimes you got to strike while the iron's hot. And it's burning right now for Mike Bailey. Not just at Impact. He's getting rave reviews on all the indies right now. Like, that's a guy Impact needs to label as an Impact guy. Yeah, I know he's under contract, but people gotta be going to indie shows, hearing about matches, watching YouTube, and go, wow, that guy's an Impact guy. I gotta go watch Impact.
Yeah,
and if he's traveling with that title, that helps. Like Drew Galloway, when he was world champion, going everywhere, that helped. Like that, these things do something when they're carrying these titles around indies, on YouTube, on stuff. And I think he'd be a good ambassador. And he's a guy that's very over right now with the wrestling. And like I said, I was one of them. Like years ago, I've been talking about Mike Bailey off and on all these years when I knew he couldn't come here.
Right.
Because he impressed me so much those years ago.
Yeah. And Moose is even defending the title at some of these shows.
Exactly.
So it's not a bad thing. It's putting the eyes on the company. Maybe somebody goes to an indie show and they say, oh, who's this guy Moose? Oh, he's Impact World Champion. Oh my God. It's like, oh, and I then there's the line, oh, I haven't watched Impact in so long. Then you're impressed by Moose in said match versus fill in the blank, whoever. And like, wow, man, I got to start watching this show, and that's how it starts. I think that's what
you win. I remember it may have been Don that said it, but when Don and Scott kind of took over, it's like they got to win fans back like one at a time. And there was the 5-year plan. Johnny Bravo talked to us about. These all go together. Just like I know people had complaints about some of they were like, oh, ticket sales, New Orleans, oh, didn't get enough people. But yet that's a market they hadn't been in over a decade.
Yeah.
But I'm in line there, and all those people were talking about the last house show there a decade ago. So you got to do that. You got to go back to these markets. And some of them are going to be gangbusters, and some of them are going to be slower. But you know what? That builds up, and you got a lot of kids. These people are fans then. That's what you got to do. So that's the great thing about all the stuff they're doing now on the road is they're going out, they're reaching new people, they're getting new markets. But it's slow. And like those markets will be like, I want Access TV. I want my Impact. I want to subscribe to YouTube Insider now. I need my Impact Plus.
So Trey gets the win here for his team with the Laredo Kid. And then post-match, Ace Austin attacks Trey Miguel and then holds Trey Miguel back, like pins his arms back like he's waiting for Mike Bailey to kick him with one of those, those judo kicks, or I don't know what kind of kicks they call them. But
judo chop,
karate kick, whatever. Yeah, that grasshopper. No, that's something else. So then Mike Bailey gives Trey Miguel this look like he is absolutely about to annihilate him. Like we've seen Mike Bailey week after week after week, and on all these other shows that we've seen him on the indies just knocking out of the park, and he has got the biggest smile on his face, with the tooth guard, of course, but the look he gives Trey, like he is just gonna just kick his head off. But he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Oreo's like on the edge of her seat over here. Like, what happened? What happens next, Bill?
Oh, he doesn't hit Trey Miguel. He knocks Ace Austin into oblivion.
Oh, so good. That was one of my wow moments. If you're watching the live reaction, that was one where I think my jaw hit the floor, came back up and smacked me in the face. So obviously Mike Bailey and Ace Austin are not on the same page going into this triple threat to lead off the pay-per-view.
I'll tell you, with those two guys, Mike Bailey and Ace Austin, that could be the modern AJ Styles Daniels feud in this company.
Oh,
perfect. The matches they can have, the one-on-one matches they could have over the next 3 to 4 years could be fantastic.
But then who's going to be Samoa Joe?
Well, you got some Samoa Joes in there. Don't you worry. There's plenty of guys.
Okay. I'm like, come on, you got to pick one. No, let's just enjoy Ace Austin and Mike Bailey, because I think that is going to be one of the best feuds of the year, and it's just
Jordan Grace, J-Bud.
Oh,
she also does the Muscle Buster.
Oh my God, you're right, Bill. Oh, that could be so much fun. I dig it.
Like
Book
Vincent.
It, coach. Yeah. Book it, coach. All right. So definitely can't wait for that one to kick off the pay-per-view on the pre-show. Next, we get some hung heads backstage with the Honor No More guys. And they're talking about, we really needed a win going into the pay-per-view. And then we were in the midst of talking about something, and all of a sudden Vincent exits stage left, and he's going out to the parking lot. He's got this weird look on his face, and it's not just that; it's the music, Bill.
The music.
And
that got our attention quick.
Like, what is going on? And it was like this poppy classical mix, just weird. And to the point that we even found out that someone in our chat, what was that, Zach Bonifer, actually found out who it was.
Yeah, I think he Shazammed it. And it was the Ultimate Flight 2, I believe, from Kanellis Bolton. Check it out.
There we go.
Because it's awesome.
Yeah, it was unique. I'm definitely.
It's so fitting. Like, it was Impact. The kudos I got to give them, from Wrestle House to some of the other segments with the music accompaniment they put back there. It just makes it, and it does for this, because we see him go into the car, into the trunk, and he pulls out jumper cables.
Yeah,
and I think J-Bone's like, what's he gonna do with those jumper cables?
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
like,
just kind of like, huh?
There's only one thing you do with jumper cables, J-Bud.
And then it hit me. I was like, oh.
PCO. You gotta give him the Destro treatment, and he's not human, J-Bud. You gotta bring him back.
He's not human.
He's the French Canadian Frankenstein.
I think the only thing we were missing there was a crazy maniacal Vincent screaming, "He's alive! Alive!" A la, the classics Frankenstein movies. But yeah, he brings PCO back to life. I love how they edited this too, between the lightning and then the close-ups, and then there was like different lighting behind PCO, and with his eyes rolled back and making weird faces.
And Vincent was fantastic during this.
He was. He was like almost like the hunchback, So, but now the question is, and my first thought was, do you wedge PCO in the match between Ishii and Jonah, or do you save this for the tapings?
I think maybe they do something during the match. Once again, maybe he shows up on the stage. He shows up in some type of vignette to like maybe distract Jonah in some way. I could see that happening, and then they have another match on the tapings. But he obviously the only word he says in that promo, PCO, is Jonah.
Right, it's a flashback to him screaming in the parking lot in Philly.
So I think we're going to get that again. But as I was saying, I don't know if they could push it to whenever lockdown happens, but I need to see these two in a steel cage.
Oh, yeah.
Because I need to see PCO do crazy stuff off the top of a cage, and I have to see a tsunami off the top of a cage.
There you go. Something. That'd be nice. But yeah, so if it's not at the pay-per-view, it's definitely happening again somewhere down the road. We'll see. Maybe PCO will come up from underside the ring through the canvas and pull Jonah to hell or something. I don't know. It's just and then flames shoot up. Oh, I'm going old school Kane here, but
You're going too heavy on the pyro budget, J-Bud.
Yeah, I know.
Settle down.
I know. Get that anthem money cooking. All right. So PCO is brought back to life. Now, what is the main event segment is Moose is supposed to apologize to Josh Alexander and his family.
Well, I think we have the apology right here.
In my ass.
I think that's exactly where they stuck that piece of paper. Or I was just say he wiped his ass with it. I'm guessing Artie Evans,
the barrister,
Artie Evans wouldn't want to touch that piece of paper after that. But man, Evans, what did you think of Evans in this?
RD, it's always good to see RD on TV. He's been doing the barrister thing a few times. You may have noticed him from IPWF. Definitely a good character. Remember from his streak gimmick in Ring of Honor. But obviously he does a lot of the creative, and I think he does a lot of the fun stuff you see on Impact. There's a lot of, I think, his creative input. Him and probably Jimmy doing a lot of that stuff. But he's reading this apology. Very heartfelt. Very heartfelt.
Oh, very, very, very professional.
Very professional. Very professional.
And I know, Bill, professional.
Well, we talked about that's what a smart lawyer would sound like, not a supposed smart lawyer It sounds like an idiot. Named Smart Mark Sterling. But
Oh,
this is a real lawyer here. Artie Evans, the barrister. He's a barrister. Much better than a lawyer. But this was good. But then Moose, who just, once again, just keeps upping his game on promos.
he does.
This was, and the camera work by Dave Sahadi and company, the zoom ins on Moose during this promo, like the emotion, fantastic. Like when he turns it, and he does it. Honestly, there were moments of this promo by Moose very different, but reminded me of the infamous, and I was there for it, the Shane Douglas promo where he won the NWA title and said they can all kiss his ass. And I think that
you were there for that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The night the line was crossed. Oh yeah.
Nice.
But it reminded me, same building, the emotion he was talking with, and he was just like the turn. It's like when he turned some of those phrases around, it was, and I whooped his ass. Like that was fantastic.
Yeah, like it's like he throws a "I'm sorry" at Coach, turns around, looks at the camera, and like I'm sorry that blah 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 blah, and it's just all stuff against Josh and his family and his kids. And stuff.
Hold on, calm down, just breathe.
Artie Evans graduated from Clarence Mason University. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you. I don't know if that's a real university or if I'm just missing something there. But I'm just going to nod my head and pretend I know exactly what's going on here. But yeah, great segment. Great promo from Moose. Josh Alexander comes out and they start brawling. Josh Alexander takes care of security one by one.
And we did have a Shogun, Gut Check winner Shogun appearance during this.
Oh, see, I heard you mention it. I heard you mention him, but I didn't see him.
Yeah, he was one of the ones on the end.
Okay, so maybe he was
again,
one of the
blink,
ones
you missed it. But you have to know. If you don't know to look.
Right. So,
you know me. I eye up security every shift.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, especially you gotta keep an eye out for that winker.
Gotta see if they're playing with their hair, their
my hair.
Palmers.
Oh, Palmer. Jeez, yeah. So Coach D'Amore gets in his way and then slowly steps to the side as if to say, let him have it. And I can sense something happening here. I can sense something happening here, Bill, and I want to get your opinion on this. First of all, we got to mention that Josh Alexander gives Moose a C4 spike for his troubles, completely lays him out at the end of the show.
On through a table.
Through a table, yes.
Not just a C4 spike, through a table.
Through a table. Looked devastating. I don't know, Bill. I've got a feeling we are seeing the reemergence of Team Canada here.
Oh, I know we've been talking about it for a while. I know Josh even did a recent interview where he said it was discussed. We know it was discussed. I bought the Team Canada shirt when it came out. They did. We'll talk about one of the reasons why I think it didn't happen. Remember, the phone call was to Michael Elgin. Elgin was going to be part of it. That's the name he doesn't mention in the interview that he forgot. It had to be Michael Elgin. It was supposed to be Taya, the North, Josh, and Elgin.
Yeah,
I would assume would have been Team Canada. But that obviously that variation to work. But I think now you can make it work again. Just like they almost did the Aces and Eights too. I think Team Canada, there's always been a history with Team Canada in this company. The original member, Jack Evans, just released. Jack Evans from the heavens, Team Canada.
Well, his contract is up at the end of April. Yeah.
All the same. He's not going to work there no more. He's available soon.
Right. Yeah. So what he's going to do, who knows? Who knows?
But no, Team Canada, because you look at it, there's Decay's technically a stable. There's Honor No More, Bullet Club, Violent by Design, close to a stable. But would, if it went that way, Team Canada, I think it happens. I just don't know if it's going to happen right now.
Okay. I mean, we could see the birth of it at Rebellion, and then we could see it grow slowly from there. Like, oh, now Bailey's going to join. Oh, and now said person is going to, and maybe this knockout or something.
Yeah.
I think there's certainly.
Well, you know, I obviously would fully support a Team Canada return. It's just, yeah, Justin says slam here. I think you might see it, the seeds being sown. Yeah. I just don't know, because especially if you're talking Coach D'Amour returning as well, I think he's got to separate himself a little. Like, he's showing, because remember, like, he was anti Josh Alexander. It appeared only a few months ago by sending him home. Like, in the end, it can be like, oh, that was for his own good. But initially, that was like, he was a heel. He was getting booed. Scott D'Amour got booed by live crowds after he sent Josh home.
Yeah. Well, see, and that's the thing. If you get a Team Canada inserted in here, does something so crazy happen at the pay-per-view where we see a double turn where Josh turns heel, becomes champ, and something so insanely horrible happens to Moose that it makes the fans feel bad for Moose, turning him a babyface then?
It wouldn't be as hard as you think, because depending on the towns they've played, Moose, if you haven't noticed, Moose is over at a lot of places.
Yeah.
Like, if he didn't go down these angles he has been going after family, his wife, like kind of be foreboding to the kid, like, that's going to get heat no matter who it is.
Right.
Just naturally, he was getting face reactions. So it would be pretty easy to turn him back to a baby face. And Josh, he has to go after a gimmick, but he could probably overall go heel in one good promo.
Oh, sure. Yeah. And
Critical Thing says the thing here, like, we got a lot of heels. We're a heavy heel company. Once they turn heavy, it's really heel centric.
It is, but not all heels are like super heelish. Some are more in the line of, like, say, like a Stone Cold, kind of like how Macklin's playing right now, you know, where there's like just riding that line of, you can do some heelish stuff, but you don't really go through with it, and you just kind of act the tough guy or tough girl or whatever. So, I'm not saying it has to happen. I'm just saying, because I don't do this much as far as how you fantasy book stuff, but this just seems like a good opportunity to really shake things up, because it's a big turning page moment. Moose has had a hell of a run, and if Josh is getting that title, which I think most of us think he is, you know, why not shake it up a little more? But that's
Now, I'm with you. That's why I think if he wins the title, it wouldn't be that quick, Team Canada. I think it would probably take till Slammiversary for it to probably happen. And maybe that's where, like, it could happen. And obviously, Team Canada, you're talking about are one of the earliest stables in the company's history is Team Canada. So it would kind of be fitting at the 20-year anniversary for Team Canada to resurface. And that's the thing. Like, obviously you have Eric Young still in the company, but he's invited by design. There's something need to happen in the meantime there, and maybe he becomes part of it too. So it would be interesting to see. There's no doubt. And I think the story does play out. It just, I think Sting was right in that. They've done this whole storyline with Josh where he was screwed over. He won the belt, but had it for a moment and gone.
Right.
And he got put the back of the line. Scott D'Amore put every obstacle in his way to conquer, then sent him home. He had to come back. Now he's going to get that chance. I got to see him. He's going to have a face run for that redemption storyline if he wins the belt. So then you get a couple months later, Slammiversary, maybe even more Bound for Glory would be the time to really go heel. That's probably time frame. It's probably more Bound for Glory. And maybe that's the time for a storyline like Team Canada to come together, because remember how much they teased it and then it just didn't happen. So maybe they start teasing it again near Slammiversary for it to happen at Bound for Glory.
So yeah, and Bonus Baby makes a great point here. Why does Team Canada have to be heel? No, it absolutely doesn't have to. It's just that they had been such big heel, components.
They're mainly heels. Like most of their history is heels. And Coach D'Amore's character is a heel.
It's pure heel.
It's pure heel, the Coach D'Amore character.
It's the Saskatoon saboteur, because if he's helping, here's the thing. If he's helping Josh win, and we could talk more of this as we're breaking stuff down for the card, but if he's helping Josh win, he's going to bust something over Moose's back or try.
Yeah.
Moose is one tough SOB.
Moose and remember, I know Josh is like Moose got to him and stuff, but he did have the ability to go after that title. Like, that's legitimate. Like, you could, like, there's wrestlers that made careers. Edge made a career out of doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
He found the right moment when he was weak, and he took the title from him. Smart. But let's not forget, Moose was completely screwed over against Kenny Omega in that title match in Jacksonville, where Kenny and all his little friends had to get involved in that match.
Yeah. Right.
And he still never got his revenge. And I still want him to.
Yeah. All right, so that's the show for tonight. How about we run through the card, Bill?
All right. Are we going to share screen of Rooney cards, or are we just going to go over the matches?
Oh, we'll just go over the matches.
All right.
I'm just bringing it up here. Events page.
Oh, there we go. Here's DJ. He mentioned this last week. I had a great time seeing Johnny Swinger last Friday night. I mentioned you guys to Johnny Swinger, and he told me about the pay-per-view this Saturday. He got a signed picture and a Swinger bandana. Swing time, Daddy.
Nice. Nice. Let me hit the news page real quick just to make sure we're not missing nothing. Okay, there's nothing. Oh, that's great. You got the Impact on Access TV results for April 21st, 2022. And the picture at the top of the article is the C4 spike to Moose and Josh standing over.
Yeah, what an image.
Oh, it's priceless.
Like, great, once again, like, great work by the producers, directors, everybody. The product, the televised product tonight was fantastic.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Now
what all the people have been waiting for, J-Bone. The predictions.
The predictions. All right. So, Rebellion happening this Saturday night. If you're not going, go to Fight TV, go on your local cable provider, by the pay-per-view. All right. Let's start with the countdown to Rebellion. There's 2 title matches on the card. On the countdown, excuse me. We've got what I think is going to start out first here. We've got the X Division title on the line, triple threat match. Trey Miguel defending against Ace Austin and Mike Bailey. My pick, Mike Bailey.
J-Bone, this is a tough one. Because I'm a huge supporter of Mike Bailey. But I also thought this was going to be a big year for Ace.
Yeah.
So I think probably the thinking 2 months ago, it would have been Ace Austin. Hands down.
Yeah.
Maybe even a couple of weeks ago. Maybe pre-multiverse of matches, it was going to be Ace Austin. But I think since then, and that match with Alex Shelley, and obviously everything else he's been doing, I think it's too much right now. The momentum is too high for. I got to agree with you. I think it's Mike Bailey. I would have went Ace Austin, but I think it's Mike Bailey.
All right.
And then a feud with, like I said, this feud with Ace Austin, where Ace will take it from him. Maybe they traded a couple times. Old school X Division.
Hot potato it a little.
Hot potato it a little bit between them. You give Mike, by the end of the year, Ace has 3 more runs and Bailey has 2 or something like that.
Ooh. That is hot. All right. Next match on the countdown to Rebellion, we've got the Knockouts World Tag Team Championships on the line, defended by the Knockout Champions, the Influence and the Inspiration, getting their rematch finally.
It's tough, J-Bone, because it's telling me, like, if I looked at it from afar, I would say, oh, obviously the Inspiration's winning the back. However, that this is the second match on the pre-show, no way they changed 2 titles on the pre-show. Just can't happen. So, shenanigans, Influence wins. I'm just looking at how the card's booked. If it was
there's
booked,
no Caleb.
no Caleb. If it was booked differently, then I would say definitely the Inspiration could win it. But since they're both on the pre-show, and I think Trey's been a good champion, but I don't see, like, I had Ace Austin, then I changed it to Mike Bailey. I think that title's definitely changing hands.
Yeah.
I can't imagine them switching 2 titles before the show even goes on pay-per-view. That'd be crazy. But Impact, are they that crazy? They might be. That would get everyone talking if titles are flying around even before the show goes to air.
I don't think the Inspiration gets it back.
No, so far we're 2 for 2 on agreements here, J-Bone.
I think so. Yeah. All right. So that's the pre-show. Next, we've got the 8-man tag team elimination challenge. Violent by Design defending against 7 other teams. So in the article here, we've got the Good Brothers, Rich Swann and Willie Mack, Heath and Rhino, and Honor No More's Matt Taven and Mike Bennett make up 5 of the 8 teams in the match. And that includes Violent by Design. That's 5 teams.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think we add major players.
Mhm. Do you think Decay's in it or not?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, if Rosemary is coming back for the show and she got attacked, and I'm sorry I missed that segment. All of Decay got wiped out. Backstage in the whatever on the loading dock. That's Taurus's response to that. Who am I missing?
Try to think if there was any other.
We know the Briscoes are busy that night.
Not there.
Someone in the
Bound by Design, Good Brothers, Decay. You said major players. That leaves Honor No More, 7. That leaves one mystery team potentially.
Heath and Rhino were in there. Mac and Swan are in there.
I guess the question is, like, obviously you could form another team of Honor No More. You could form another team of Bullet Club, maybe, depending on who's there. Tyson Swinger.
Oh, Dyson Swinger. Maybe. That'd be hilarious. That would certainly make it entertaining for a while. Hey, who knows? But out of all this, who's your pick though, Bill?
I hate to say that I think, but the odds are against him. Violent by Design. I feel leaning into way too many title changes. But they've done it before. They've changed tons of titles on shows. 8 teams. Oof. I'm trying to talk myself out of it now, J-Bone. Because it just seems, if it's not Violent by Design, it's Good Brothers. But I feel that the team that could win this is Soldiers. I feel Rich and Willie have had a good run, but this run goes all the way back to with the North. And they haven't gotten their due as tag champions.
No, they've had some good matches, but yeah.
It's like similar to the Rascals, where they just never got to that next level where you think they should have. So the Good Brothers, depending if they were going to show up in Japan or back on AEW and they want to put the titles on them to get the titles out there, that's why I would go to the Good Brothers. But I'm going to go with the Soldiers on this one.
Mac and Swan?
Mac and Swan.
Okay. When I did my picks the other night on Smash This Podcast, I picked VBD, but I'm changing it.
Oh.
Changing it.
What are you changing it to, J-Bone?
I'm going with the major players.
Major players? Not even announced for it. I love it.
What would piss off the audience more? Get a team in there that's like barely.
They've never had a match.
Right? Right?
And they're tag champs.
Hell, if NXT can do it all the time, so can Impact, right?
And you know what? In the end, because all these titles aren't going to change hands, is it possible that even though the odds seem insurmountable for VBD, could they run the gauntlet and win and keep those belts? Oof. It doesn't seem likely, but maybe they do. Because I think you're right. Like,
could.
If you look at it for title matches, they all seem really up in the air. Like all the titles seem very likely to switch hands. But this one, percentage-wise, probably would seem safer if it wasn't for this stipulation. So maybe they do hold on to him.
Oh, no, there's a team we didn't mention that certainly could be in there as well. Ronan says Shera and Raj. That makes sense.
It could. They've been together, so I like it. I know a lot of people in there are saying OGK, which even though they're newer to the company, I wouldn't be against it because it would help further the Honor No More angle going forward, and they need something. They need something to keep going forward. So that would be fun
team.
For me.
And it would certainly make them feel like here's a sign that we're investing in you.
Exactly. They could definitely have a good run there as a champion team. There's no doubt.
Bennett and Taven. Yeah.
And I do like Gary, like if there is a mystery team, I know it's been in the news that one Juice Robinson has been talking about how much he enjoyed being in Impact Wrestling.
Yeah.
And he kind of burned out from wrestling, but he really liked Impact. So Finn Juice would not be a bad. Those guys, I think they really did good work in their spots in Impact. So former champions, obviously, as well. So if they're like a mystery thrown in there, I think they remember Good Brothers struggled with them. So I think that would be interesting.
What's up with David Finlay? Is he at the same contract or is he
Well, there's the relationship with New Japan. So, but I know they're doing more shows in the US right now and all. So it might be tougher to get them for as many bookings. But I would assume just like if they could fit in, he can work this set of tapings, they could come in, but then you'd have to do stuff where if they brought in Juice full time, they might not be able to. Thank you, Jordan. They just might not be able to use him all the time because obviously his New Japan commitments would come up. But I don't know when his deal's over. I don't know if anybody's heard anything, but who knows?
Yeah. Oh, and here's another that would be great in there. Thank you, Jordan Merrick, for the $5 super sticker. Much love, brother. Here's another one. Enzo and Morrissey. Yeah.
Hey, good.
Yeah. Especially if you put the major players in there and then Morrissey shows up and they're like, well, what the hell? You don't even have a tag partner. And then he brings in Enzo. That'd be a perfect way to slip.
I'll tell you, J-Bone, you saw this tag team in person. How about if EC3 and Titan Adam Shear showed up as a team?
Oh, my dear God.
I think you might see Bill go crazy in the front row if that were to happen.
Yeah. That'd be nuts. I don't see it happening, but
that might be about as that might be the biggest pop you could see at that show if that were to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean he's
I like Dog Boy here. Even though I suggested maybe another way, but mystery team. Shelley not advertised on the card. Kushida, rumors are maybe he could show up anywhere. He could show up today if he wanted somewhere.
Right, he's done.
Yeah, his contract's now renewed, expired. He's good to go. So if Kushida, and I know someone earlier, and I don't know, honestly, I haven't watched Kushida's run up north. I heard someone say he's like a comedy act. Like, I don't know if they turn him into a comedy act, but Kushida and Shelley, when they were New Japan and doing stuff in Ring of Honor, they were very, like, he has the Marty McFly vest and stuff, but very serious wrestler. And he does have a connection to the coach because he's Canadian. He lives in, at least he did. He lived in Canada and he trained at Border City. So
there you go. So there you have it, folks. There's a lot of options as far as, different tag teams that could come in either night of Rebellion or the following night. So we'll see. But yeah, put it in the chat. Who do you want to see show up? Who do you want to see win?
The way they promoted this match so heavily tonight, you figure it's going to be a big thing at the pay-per-view.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Plans. Like, I don't think it's just going to be team XYZ go in, get eliminated, team wins. I think you're going to see something happen in this match.
Yeah, definitely. This could be a lot of fun. We'll see. All right, next we got Jonah versus Ishii. The Stone Pitbull versus the Top Dog.
No.
Me personally, I think I'm going with Jonah here.
This is a tough one. Tough one, J-Bone.
It is. Two big guys slapping
It's almost after tomorrow night. I feel I could give you a more definitive answer because I guess it was, I think Courtney said Ishii's on AEW tomorrow. I think he has a match with Adam Cole, which I assume.
Oh, yeah.
Because he is a guy that for New Japan, probably like that's a guy that they're okay. He doesn't have to win every match in New Japan. Like years ago, they'd be one where like their guys can never lose. They realized you can't do business like that. So there will be. I know some people are saying there. It feels like this will be shenanigans. And we talked about PCO earlier. Does he cause interference to give Ishii the win, or he's going to play a result in this match? Technically, then will Ishii win because of something happening, or will he lose because of something happening? Not 100% certain because it doesn't hurt him if technically he loses that way. But I think technically Ishii will probably get the win, but it's going to be due to PCO doing something.
Okay.
Maybe.
Nice. So you're picking Ishii. I'm picking Jonah on that one. All right.
And that's I know a lot of people are saying that they all feel PCO is going to get involved in that match.
It's hard. It's hard not to try to include him somehow, some way, especially after what happened tonight.
But that's the thing. I think Jonah's sticking around. And look, he wore the Impact shirt.
That was great to see.
Wearing an Impact shirt.
Yeah.
To me, that means something.
Yeah. So, yeah, hopefully he sticks around after this. Hopefully, if he loses for the what I think would be practically the first time in if he loses, is it the first time?
Who, Jonah?
Yeah.
Jonah lost to Josh.
Oh, that's right. Okay. That's right. All right.
But that's his only loss in Impact.
Okay. Well, hopefully he sticks around nonetheless, no matter what. There's plenty of stuff for him to do. Plenty of big guys slapping me. Knockouts World Championship. Tasha Steele's defending. Rosemary trying to knock her off the pedestal here. What say you, Bill?
I said earlier, like definitely what I want to happen. And I'm a big fan of both of them. But Rosemary, long run, she's back. The knee looks great in the ring. And I think the stories and the matches they could have with her as a champion would be really interesting right now. Once again, now, I'm talking lots of title changes. Tasha, like VBD, she might feel the most safe. If you put odds, if we did our Jay Bronsky odds, probably Tasha Steele has the best odds of keeping her belt, I would say. Vegas would have odds for her to retain.
Yeah.
But I'm such a huge Rosemary fan. I want to say Rosemary, J-Bone.
Yeah.
I want to give her that title. And then I want to bring Jade/Mia Yim back, the challenger.
Oh.
And then you have that second, because they did the cage match. Have them do a cage match in PCO and Jonah do a cage match. That's what I want. But I want to say Rosemary. My mind says not to say it, J-Bone.
Your heart says Rosemary, but
I ate the apple. I'm going Graham on this one. I'm going Rosemary.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. I'm going Tasha Steelz on this.
That's the smart money is on there.
I think, yeah. You beat a veteran like Rosemary.
That's putting her over. That's putting the kid over.
Exactly. I think that's smart business. Tasha Steelz is the consummate HBK with the Diesel / Savannah Evans. And we saw that tonight perfectly. You know, the old hit and run in the parking lot. You know, running over Rosemary and Havoc. And everyone else for that. Memories. Oh, sorry. What a heel. But yeah, Tasha Steelz for the win here.
That's the right choice, J-Bo. It's the right choice. But I am a member of the Hive, J-Bo.
Oh, I don't blame you.
The Hive says Rosemary.
And that's all right. That's all right. It's like me picking a major player. It's like, why are you picking a major?
Well, once again,
because I'm a major mark.
They have a big storyline right now.
It's fun. It's
like
fun.
I did the opposite of that on there, and I'm probably doing the same thing. Rich Swann and Willie, they've been doing it for so long. It's like they deserve it. They should get it. But maybe that's my thing. I'm going too many of the long-term vets right now on my choices.
Yeah. So next we've got. All right, so now there's no title up on the line here. It's a non-title match, but it's Jonathan Gresham versus Eddie Edwards.
And we're both under belief the match happens.
I think it's happening. Now, there was no mention of it tonight.
Well, they were. They had promos and stuff talking about it, and Hadifin promoted it. But once again, I think that was all in the can. And card is always subject to change, but we're going with belief it's happening.
If Jonathan Gresham does do the match, I'm in the belief that this is his last appearance in Impact Wrestling.
Likely. The thing is, this is going to have to be booked interestingly, a certain way, because I feel like there's now too many matches where will it be straight up? Will there be some interference? I don't want it to get too wonky with interference. So if Gresham is done with Impact, what's the first rule of leaving a company, J-Bone? You go out on your back.
Yeah.
So Eddie Edwards has to win.
Yeah. That's
if he
true.
doesn't, you'll be seeing me go crazy.
Oh man.
I know Eddie doesn't want to cheer him, but I'm gonna have to cheer him. Because I'll have to boo Gresham if he wins.
Ooh. Boy, oh boy. Zach Bonifer, who booked this shit? I picked Jonathan Gresham.
Whew.
But and that's not with the thinking of, oh, none of Tony's guys lose. That's not part of that.
All right. I want to make sure, J-Bud.
No.
That's a valid theory.
It is, but that's like strictly indie speaking.
Now, other than fake wrestling news, have they actually reported the company themselves that he signed?
Yes.
They have.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me make sure. Because I know there was a lot of people making their own versions of images that he's all ROH or all elite when it was just based off of like a Sean Ross Sapp story. So
no, it's legit. Here's the thing though. And this just popped in my head. So he had a match the other night. Jonathan Gresham was on, was it Rampage or was it? No, it was Battle of the Belts. Excuse me. Battle of the Belts Saturday night. And I don't know if it was live or not. Maybe it was taped Friday is what I'm thinking it was. Because that Rampage last Friday was actually live. Because it was in a new territory. New town, whatever you want to call it. But Jonathan Gresham wrestled Dalton Castle. Now, some people were reporting that Jonathan Gresham got injured in the match and had a concussion.
Okay.
So I don't want to assume either way. Like, if he's ready, great. If not, maybe it doesn't happen. I'm not, I think for now we just have to go with it that, okay, it's still on the card here on the website. We go with it. It's happening. We may find out in the next 24 to 48 hours. It's not. I don't know. Right. But nonetheless, you pick Eddie and I'm picking Jonathan.
Yeah, I'm picking Eddie.
Okay.
If it goes the other way, though, I'm definitely getting even firmer in my Deanna stance.
I hear you. All right. Next, we've got the triple threats. We got Chris Sabin versus Jay White versus Steve Macklin.
Okay.
I'm picking Steve Macklin.
Ooh. I like that pick. It's a bold pick.
Especially after tonight. I just got a feeling. I got a feeling.
And I assume if you had to pick who he pins, obviously it's not Jay White. It's going to be Sabin in this scenario.
Well, Jay White did just take his first loss in Impact a week or two ago.
To Chris Sabin.
Right.
At the Multiverse.
So.
Shocking.
Yeah.
Like, that's why.
Definitely one of the best cards of the weekend. And that was definitely one of the best matches.
Yeah, I'd like to say, because I've been a big Macklin supporter, but I got to go Jay White on this one. Okay. I think he's going to get his revenge from that loss at Multiverse of Matches.
That could be. And I'm not worried about who eats what pin or whatever. I don't care about that. Gary in the chat here says Steve Macklin with help from somebody. I certainly think there is a chance for that, where we could see some new faces at this pay-per-view, whether it's one-offs or signees, whatever. Mm-hmm. We'll see. But I don't know. Maybe it's somebody masked and we find out the next night. Who knows?
Maybe. Well, love a good mask gimmick.
But for yeah, right.
I think the last one was Rhino.
Yeah.
And he came to Windsor. And it's like, who's the one person in the world with that body type?
Coach
other than Rhino.
It's definitely Coach. But yeah. So but if we're going strictly on just these three guys, no shenanigans. I'm picking Steve and you're picking Jay.
Yeah.
All right. Gotcha. Let's see. 2 matches left here. Reina's championship on the line. Deonna Purrazzo with the Champ Challenge. Saturday night at Rebellion against Taya Valkyrie. The Queen returneth, Bill.
She does. And the Queen, I don't think is coming out a loser on this one, J-Bone.
No.
I gotta imagine she does win it, unless I know people say, our chatter would even say it, that they were gonna have a match at in AAA in Mexico. So would they possibly have something where Deonna does come out on top here, for they can change the belt down there? Nah, like maybe, but it feels like Taya. There's reasons, all other reasons why I want Deonna to possibly retain here. And that's just to make her strong for if she doesn't lose that other belt. Because it feels like if she does lose this match to Taya, it's just setting up for her to then quickly lose the Ring of Honor title within the next month. And I just think that would knock her down way too much from what they built her up to. And I don't want to see that. So that's my worry about picking Taya, is it will be then like Deonna losing 2 belts in a span of like a month would not be good. It'd be bad. Unless she became Impact World Knockouts World Champion again within that same reign. I don't see how it can be booked where it's not bad for her to lose both those belts that quick.
Well, and we don't know when.
No, we don't know when. If we knew a time frame when that Ring of Honor match was happening, that might influence this. But I'm gonna go Taya. That worries me in saying it. I don't like saying it.
No, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, because I mean it could be as soon as Double or Nothing, where we see.
And if it is that soon, that's going to be too soon.
Yeah, I mean, and that's well, if anything, if it makes you feel any better, it's Deonna going into enemy territory and she's losing it somewhere else and not on. It's not like Deonna Purrazzo coming to Impact Wrestling and she loses on home turf again. I don't know if that makes you feel any better or not.
Not really.
Okay. I tried. But yeah, I'm going with Taya Valkyrie on this one too. Deonna Purrazzo's Champ Challenge has been a blast, but I think it's time to knock her down a peg. But that's not taken away from her. She's still
like this doesn't take away from
wrestlers on the roster.
It's more. That's why I do pick Taya, in the hopes that we don't see that happening. And I hope that's maybe because who knows? Maybe the coach and company strong arm this, and she has that title. In a perfect world, she just vacates it. Maybe that happens at some point.
Honestly, I'm okay with that because you already have their predetermined champ in the other company, and
that's a paper champion.
She, well, yeah, you call her whatever. Yeah, I hear you. she had her belt. She won it. She was at the press conference with a belt. So I don't know. Whatever.
And I think Bell's Boy, that this is where I think they probably do go with Deonna, is if she does drop both those titles that quick, they put her and Chelsea in a tag team together and go after Knockouts tag titles. But then maybe that means the Inspiration do win it, for they can dethrone them, because them versus the Influence, I guess just nobody likes the Influence.
Yeah.
As like I think any like a face or a heel team could go against them because they don't seem to like anybody else other than themselves.
Trent says, Jay, don't forget to plug this shirt deal for Camera Guy Gimmick. I did right at the top of the show. And I'll do it again at the end of the show because, people come in and leave at different times. So, yes, we got that deal going on. And then we also got the Spreadshirt deal for 20% off TNI merch. So
For a week.
For almost a week, yeah. Starts today and ends on the 26th. So if you don't do it today, you still got time. So, but yeah, we'll play it at the end.
I think Trent's just telling you, tell everybody sex sells, J-Bone.
It does. Sex, thugs, and rock and roll. Hell yeah. All right. Last but certainly not least, the Impact World Championship. Thank God they talked about this title, because otherwise Matt Cardona's World Championship was going to get all the shine tonight. All right. Impact World Championship. Wink, wink. Moose defending against Josh Alexander.
Another one, Jay. Well, this one, if we talked about the Vegas odds, or the Jay Bronsky odds, as I like to call them again, this might be the most anticipated change of belts on this show. And you know, Moose is my guy, wearing it right now. But this seems, as someone said in the chat, I think Bell's Boy, this one is preordained. This storyline's been developing. This is the long-term storytelling where Josh has to win this belt.
Yeah.
If Josh doesn't win the belt, then where does he go from here? Like that would be an easy explanation to turn him heel overnight and become Team Canada or something like that. That definitely makes sense. But I think he is taking the title off my guy Moose here, sadly.
Yeah.
But that just means Moose will have to wait and get his next title sooner rather than later.
Yeah. And it's nothing against Moose. Moose has been a great champ. His win against Josh has been one of the best heel storylines in company history.
Mm.
You know? And it's all about just building up Josh more. I mean, it's twofold, you know? Moose gets his title reign, and Josh Alexander gets an even bigger win. So,
main event Mafia Moose.
I like it. But now,
like, how much better would main event Mafia been with Moose instead of Nick Aldis?
Oh, I thought you were going to say Samoa Joe.
I think I'm some anti-Joe guy now, J-Bone. I'm gonna be fully supporting Samoa Joe this Wednesday in Philly. I'll be wearing my Nation of Violence vest.
Ooh, good stuff. Good stuff. Is he wrestling next week?
I don't know. That's the closest I have to somebody on that company, so that's what's being worn.
I hear you. He'll always be old school TNA to us.
My guess is, I don't know if he'll wrestle, but my guess is he'll be there doing something if he's not wrestling. So, but because it's Philly and that's Ring of Honor, that's where it started. I would imagine he'd play a part of some kind there. So
he's got a pretty big storyline going in. I mean, it's not necessarily Ring of Honor related, but he's
doing something with Jay Lethal, right?
Jay Lethal and that new giant Satnam Singh. Sanjay Dutt is like the manager.
Sanjay
guy. He's great. He's great in that role. Shooting his mouth off. Oh, he's gold. He really is. Good stuff. But anyways.
Bonus baby. Now. Oh, that's the end. Josh wins. Lights go out. Sounds of coins hitting the floor. Enter the Rainmaker Okada.
Oh.
Remember we haven't talked about it during this whole show tonight.
Hence the question mark?
The question mark. Does the question mark come into play? Is there something that was the question mark?
There's a potential for a lot of surprises, and we've talked about some possibilities. You know, Enzo showing up for Morrissey. It's some other stuff, but yeah,
But J-Bone, now, do you have any surprises here, or who do you think's winning this match, this main event?
Oh, it's Josh Alexander.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm all in on Josh Alexander. And we talked about this during that the end of the review portion of this show tonight. I certainly think there's an option for a Team Canada thing going on here. I don't want to overbook it. You know, I mentioned the possibility of a double turn here, which it would make sense in my head, because I think if Coach D'Amour is helping him, that's a big heel move. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to overthink it, but I certainly think that Scott D'Amour helping Josh win, you know, cracking a hockey stick or something over Moose's big old head.
Oh, come on. Give me some.
And then waving the flag. They're going to steal your flag, Bill. They're going to steal your flag.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about there, Jabon?
It'll be the Saskatoon squash match.
Oh, the Saskatoon squash. You know all about it. I'm coming for you, Coach. The coach is coming for you, J-Bone.
You heard it.
But I don't know. Team Canada, it's going to take a little longer. So, see you in a couple months. Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks, Coach. But nonetheless, yeah, no matter how it wins, you're going to see a hell of a match between Josh Alexander and Moose. And, oh, Bell's boy, stop. The last lion went there.
There you go.
Jade Chung leaves with Moose, the ultimate swerve. Oh, God. Well, you can't do that without a low blow to the hubby, too. But then no kids can be present for that. Because then the kids would just, oh, my God.
Got to leave the kids out of it.
Yeah.
But that would be a ultimate heat for Moose.
Jeez.
I know we've talked about that a few times. Like if Chelsea would have kind of went with somebody else in a Cardona storyline when he was turning heel, like that would have been a great swerve. I know they teased it when GCW did their show that she was going to side on the other, but then she didn't. But that would be good if. But I don't think they're going that way. But it would be amusing.
Yeah, then she starts making out with Moose, and then Don West shows up.
If you have small children, please ask them to leave the room right now.
In my ass.
Oh yeah, you could fantasy book this one to hell, but we'll see what happens. But nonetheless, are we both in agreement with Josh winning here?
Josh wins.
Josh wins. The Moose guy is saying Josh wins.
Well, you're saying I'm the Moose guy, but then you say my flag.
See, you're just confusing the people around you in the audience. You wear the Moose vest, but you're waving Team Canada. What the hell are you doing, Bill?
I think there's like a thing for whoever I support the most, they're going to pit them against each other. It's what happens.
There you go. But nonetheless, no matter what happens, we are going to have an absolute one hell of a pay-per-view Saturday night. Like I said, if you haven't bought it yet, go order it. You won't be sorry.
Oh, but once again, if they're not, definitely order it. But maybe become a Patreon member.
Yeah, if you become a Patreon member, my cat will trash my office. You can watch with us in the Discord, because I'll be showing it Saturday night for Patreons. Not everybody, just Patreons. So if you're interested in that, yeah, it'll be a group watch. So There you go. Well, let's wrap this up, shall we?
Yes. Well, obviously I'll be there at Rebellion. Me and my buddy Todd will be there. So if you are looking for me, that's where you'll find me. It's about 3 hours away, so depending on how it is, I might check in from the road briefly. If there's a review right after the pay-per-view, which I assume. If not, it might not be. If we do it later, then maybe you'll see me. But it might be brief. So we'll see what happens on Saturday night. But definitely take a look, be there for that and the tapings. And if not, you can always find me at my handle on Twitter there. My name, William M. Gardner. Same on the Instagram, which I do have a couple pictures to put up there. So I got to do that. But yeah, J-Bone, where can they find you?
You can find me on the Twitter box at JBone5150. That's JAYBONE 5150. You can also find me over on that other little podcast called Smash This Podcast. That's on YouTube and Twitch and wherever you get your podcast audio. And speaking of podcast audio, you can find this podcast audio on Apple Tunes, Stitcher Radio, Google Play, TuneIn Radio, iHeart Radio, Spotify, Soundcloud, Pandora, amongst many others worldwide. And before we get out of here, I want to play this one more time to let people know to go support Camera Guy Nick over at the Camera Guy Gimmick /big cart. The website is at the end of this video. We'll just play this and you can see what kind of cool vintage TNA merch there is for sale here. Check this out. There we go. So it's Camera Guy Gimmick .bigcartel.com.
Nice.
And the code for the 10% coupon on the site is TNA POD. TNA Pod. Because that's us.
That's us.
That's us. That's our affiliation with the special. So go get yourself some classic TNA merch, or you can help support us. Get your 20% off and the Spreadshirt link down below. Sale goes 21st through the 26th. So, but yeah, that's it. So on your way out of here, folks, don't forget to smash that like button, smash that sub button, ring that bell for notifications. Why? So that you know when more of our content hits your screen. So we'll see you Saturday night for the pay-per-view. Be doing a I don't know if we're going to be doing a watch along. We're definitely doing a review. So definitely look out for the review. We'll get that figured out on Saturday. But nonetheless, yeah, you could find us on. You find Bill there live, and you'll find me in a review with who knows who else is going to show up for that. But nonetheless, it's going to be great. Can't wait. Go order it. Tell them J-Bone sent you.
Oh.
All right. Good night, folks. See ya.